The views and opinions expressed in this content are that of a continuously evolving nature and are subject to change as humanity evolves into higher states of awareness.
My name's Lee from Real Spirit Dynamics, and I want to talk about what it's like to be an awakened person in the workplace. Okay, so if you are an awakened person, the workplace can be a battleground of mixed egos, many of which are insensitive to the real issues behind what cause the difficulties among workers. Okay, and you'll see this around you all the time. You'll see difficulties arise because of the management's decisions. Okay, so someone who has awakened will notice the main causes for stress at work are often directly linked to the insensitivity of those in the higher chain of command, most of who are not spiritually qualified to be in that role. Okay, they're not spiritually qualified, but they don't understand this, and the superiors don't understand this, which is one of the reasons I'm making this video. So if you are awakened, it hurts your feelings when an unfair decision is made by someone at the top that affects you and your co-workers in a negative way. And you'll see this happen all the time in work situations. But what hurts even more is when your co-workers, out of fear, lack of sensitive awareness, just accept everything they're told to do without question. Okay? And in many cases, they're not even aware of the harm that these insensitive decisions can cause to their stress at work. So a lot of people around you, your colleagues, are not even aware of the stresses these decisions will cause in the future. But you already know this, see, because you see the future. You see what's going to happen based on these decisions. So you're often left basically with no other option than to sit back and watch the difficulties arise from these bad decisions, whilst coping with the negative emotions around you from your colleagues. Most of these emotions you've already anticipated and felt yourself when the decision was initially made, because you see the future, see? Now the problem here is that those at the top got there not because of their knowledge about people, but because they know how to manipulate others. So they're in kind of a clique of manipulation and fear, which I'm going to go into in a moment. So they get into higher positions without being qualified enough to do what's best for everyone as a whole, and are often only target orientated. This is the problem, you see, targets. Okay, so because they are afraid of judgment by their superiors, superiors will tell them to jump and they'll say how high. And this is what superiors want, because this stops their fear coming to the surface and it keeps their egos intact. Now the problem here is that superiors themselves often come from a place of fear, and this fear is passed down the chain of command, resulting in a working environment that's as close to slavery as those at the top can get away with. Okay, so if those at the top could get away with slavery, they would still do that. This is the level of spiritual evolution that they're on. They haven't learned how to love and respect everybody's abilities yet. All they think about is fear, greed, and ego. Okay, so what they achieve things with greed and manipulation, and these two dynamics are the most destructive forces on the planet today. The two most destructive forces. Wherever there is ego, manipulation, and senselessness, there is also likely to be unfairness, including special privileges for those who are in the so-called clique. Now, what is the clique? It's just the higher chain of command who communicate with each other in a way where they don't want to upset each other, so they don't lose their position out of fear of loss. Okay? If you are awakened, you will be able to intuitively know what the clique are doing to protect their egos at all times, allowing you to use this awareness to prepare yourself for future outcomes. Outcomes that other people around you, like your staff members or colleagues around you, most likely not be aware of, but you are. Okay? It's important to realize that that such individuals that join the clique actually have the most fear, as they have the strongest desire to fit in because of their fear of failing to impress their superiors, okay? So these are the most fearful among us. And unfortunately, the world is mostly run by these people, okay? I don't know how, but that's going to change, because it will have to change in the future because of karmic results, which I'll go through in a moment. Now, this is an old paradigm controlled by fear that dates back to the caveman times, when failing to impress others would lead to being singled out from the tribe, which could ultimately lead to your death. And these people at the top are still in this paradigm most of the time, okay? This is why all these problems arise. So, when you see this happen at work, watch carefully, but say nothing, as they will take your words as a threat, okay? You cannot reason with ego. They'll just take it as a threat and they'll not like it. But as you watch in silence, you'll begin to see their own negative karma come back to them in their personal lives, okay? You will notice this during conversations that they have with other people in the clique. They'll come in and they'll say, oh, this horrible thing happened outside of work. This is their karma coming back to them because of the way they're acting in work situations. So their fear and manipulation tactics will always create bad karma, because that's how the law of cause and effect works. And that's how the law of attraction works as well. So in many cases, these individuals often rely on their working environment to actually feel secure, because outside of work, they often have no power to manipulate, and because manipulation is all they know at this point in their spiritual evolution, they struggle to find love in all people and abilities with acceptance. This is why they'll give people the targets at work, even if somebody's even if somebody hasn't got the ability to reach that target, they'll still give that target relentlessly, and they won't back down, okay? Because of this, they are unable to understand love for humanity in work environments also, okay? Because if they did, they would not feel the need to blindly follow orders for the benefit of their egos and fear. The reason you have awakened is because you have already learned these karmic lessons. So try to accept these individuals for their current stage of learning, and try to peacefully kind of accept their decisions, no matter how much they hurt others due to their fear. Okay, this is hard to do, but we have to try and do this, because it's not their fault they're on this stage of evolution. But it is unfortunate that their karma has to affect our working conditions, and this is where it's wrong. Okay, but they will learn how to be more kind and understanding in their own time, and they will often learn this the hard way. Like I said before, they'll come into work, horrible things happen to them outside of work, and work's their only safe structure they have. Not a very nice way to live, but this is how these people work, okay? So the reason non-awakened people become in charge is due to their lack of understanding of humanity. Those at the top have. So they would simply choose to ignore the enlightened person's reasoning in the fear that this would affect profits. But in reality, true profit for mankind is to put humanity before greed. This concept is not yet taken seriously enough by those at the top. That's why they won't listen to us. We know what's going to happen. If we speak out, that'll just often get ignored, because they don't want to hear the truth. Okay, so in the meantime, allow all rules that are fair to take place, but when rules that are unfair arise, or new dynamics or new targets at work, in a workplace that are unfair, make others around you aware of why they are unfair. Okay, the importance of doing this is not to create a negativity in the workplace, but to keep love and light of humanity at the forefront of our survival. Okay. Some colleagues will reflect upon your advice, others will blindly just accept the unfairness, okay? But try not to get angry with these people, it's just because they don't understand, okay? The time when we accept everybody's range of abilities in a workplace is when humanity starts to evolve into a peaceful existence. If we merely accept unfair decisions from those higher, our well-being will slowly be replaced by slavery, okay? and we will become work machines for those who profit from our suffering. This is important. This is the way the world is trying to go. But us as enlightened beings or awakened beings, we can stop this, okay? The positive thing about being awakened at work is your ability to predict the future and plan your actions long before the challenges unfold, which gives you the ability to just sit back and watch whilst helping colleagues with advice and support when they need it. Okay, this is important. You've got to stay calm. Don't get too angry in the workplace, because this creates negativity and the people in the clique won't like it. Okay, and they'll start taking action because they take your anger and your ability to see reality as a threat, you see. So the personal rewards you get with this ability are worth way more to humanity than the temporary rewards those in higher positions get from causing the unfair conditions in the first place, because they do this out of pure greed and profit reasons, okay? So all over the world, businesses are often making millions in profit by exploiting their staff with unfair working conditions. This is one of the reasons why we wake up depressed every day. This is why there's a big anxiety epidemic in the planet at the moment. This is one of the main reasons why. Because they don't like their life. They don't like going to work, because it's not a very nice place to go for most people. Okay. As an awakened person, you know that life is way too precious to allow this to continue. It just is. This cannot continue. Why can't work be enjoyable? Because to make it enjoyable would require lighter duties, less hours, and more staff. All of which are entirely possible in most cases, by the way, in exchange for a small reduction in profit with minimum effect on most businesses, okay? Most businesses would have minimum effect with a little drop in profits to look after their staff. Why don't they do this? I don't know. It's just pure greed. But greed and fear are the only things stopping this happening, okay? So the day we accept this as humans will be the day we look at work in a new light and accept that everybody's human, we've all got different abilities, and with more light comes more positivity, and with more positivity comes more respect, and with more respect comes love. And when we have love, there's no need for greed anymore. This is the big thing here. Love is the only thing that can beat the demon. Okay? So we all have the combined power to change our working conditions, so let's start today. Please share this message and subscribe to Real Spirit Dynamics if you like this content. Also, share your thoughts on this subject as well, and tell us about your experiences at work. And together, we can all help to change the world. Okay, so thanks for listening. I'll see you guys on the next video.